do Brits drink tea all the time? Tea drinking is an inherently British tradition and is the preferred drink for many Brits. From a dainty porcelain cup of Earl Grey to a large mug of milky, sugary builder's tea. This habit came from Britain's colonial past. The British East India Company had a monopoly over the tea industry in England. Because of the tax revenue, the drink was encouraged by the government and seen both as high class and quintessentially British. Britain is the second largest nation of tea drinkers per capita, after Ireland, drinking about 165 million cups of tea a day, or 62 billion cups a year. Over the years, tea has become a symbol of comfort and hospitality in the UK, earning its rightful place as Britain's favourite drink.
Why are British roads so narrow and twisty? Compared to the massive infrastructure in America and the grid system, British roads can appear rather winding and narrow and even cobbled. The reason for this is that many British roads have been there hundreds or maybe even 1,000 years. These small roads were made for horse-drawn carts, which weren't as wide as today's motor vehicles.
Why do we say, mind the gap?
Oh gosh, I thought the Queen was saying for a moment.
It's good, wasn't it? Yeah. Seeing Mind the Gap painted on the floor of the undergrounds, or hearing it said in a posh British voice over the speakers as you enter or exit the train is completely normal for us Brits. However, it appears rather odd to Americans. This meaning of the verb mind has largely fallen into disuse in the US. The phrase first came about in 1968 when the London Underground wanted to record an automated announcement. Because of the old technology, the phrase had to be short. As well as mind the gap, you will also see mind your head or mind your step signs around.
Why do you Brits have two faucets or taps? Well, I'll answer that one for you. This tradition dates back from the time when hot and cold water were kept separately to stop cross-contamination. Cold water came from a main supply and it was fit to drink, whereas the hot water came from a tank in the loft and still does quite often nowadays. When mixer taps became fashionable, it was still a requirement to keep the hot and cold water separately until they came out of the tap.
How on earth do you cope with all that rain? Can I just say, it doesn't rain all the time in the UK, it just seems like it. On average, it rains 1 in 3 days in the UK. However, rainfall varies greatly from region to region. It is generally wetter in the west than the east and wetter in the highlands than the lowlands. The wettest place is Snowdonia in Wales, average annual totals exceeding 300 millimetres of rain a year. Parts of the east, such as East Anglia, where we are from, receive less than 700 millimetres a year. How do we cope? We get out our brollies, our rain macs and wellies. It's always fun jumping into large puddles and splashing about.
We do in fact occasionally get some really hot weather and no rain for quite a while. When this happens, we get
the dreaded hosepipe ban.
You also find us Brits looking everywhere all over the house to find out where we stashed that electric fan we bought last year and used twice. There's not a lot of air conditioning in good old Blighty.
What's a question you've always wanted to ask the Brits? Comment below and we could answer it in a future video and give you a shout out.
Bye!